What's up YouTube, it's Rob again. So I got another video today. This one is going to be actual gameplay footage of the Rend Hammer of the Ancients build that I explained in my previous video about a week ago from last week. The previous video I showed the build and the skills and the runes that I used in the build. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of actual gameplay and showing you how this build works. I'm just going to be doing Inferno MP4 for now, just to get the general idea of how this works. So I'm going to try and find an elite pack here soon. Now the first thing you usually want to do when you encounter a pack is leap right into the group, because for every target you hit you get additional armor. Let's drop the sound down a little bit. Alright. And the leap skill actually has two purposes, for entering combat and for leaving it in a situation where you're getting overwhelmed. It's used for jumping into a pack and getting the additional armor to burn targets down and to just increase your survivability. And it is also good for having extra mobility to leave combat if you need to. Now you can see my bash skill I'm using. I have the, the pulverizer in. It's got the little AoE in a straight line behind my target. Adds a little bit of AoE damage behind the target you're hitting. It's really nice when you're taking on a bunch of smaller, weaker enemies. It doesn't really benefit single target DPS, but when you're trying to clear out an area and you have a lot of enemies, I think it's really beneficial. You see, right after I jump in with my leap, I usually drop a Rend. I want to just keep my survivability at as higher rate as possible. Having a lot of health regen and high armor, there's a really low chance that you're going to die. Hopefully I run into an elite here soon. Don't want to make this video too long. Oh, here we go. You got your ignore pain. I popped my ignore pain because my leap was on cooldown, so I figured I might as well use some defensive cooldown. You see the elites are dropping pretty fast. I'm hitting for pretty high crits, anywhere from 500,000 to over even 1 million. Now the main abilities you want to keep on using throughout the fight are your ignore pain, your leap, and survivability reasons. I mean, you want your ignore pain, your leap, and your Rend to keep on going off as constantly as possible. Your Rend will keep your health regenerating, and your leap will keep your armor high as long as you have enemies to hit, that is. But like I said, you can use that again as a means of escaping a battle as well. Now this isn't a huge AoE damage skill in build. It's mostly for single target DPS. It's really good for Ubers and any bosses that you may be doing. So this isn't the fastest farming build, but it is definitely a very efficient boss build or single target DPS build. I really like this for burning down bosses. I mean, I still prefer the double whirlwind tornado build over this. I just believe the whirlwind build is more entertaining and more fun to play, but this has just so much more sheer power, it's ridiculous. This has more straight up DPS output on a single target. The whirlwind build doesn't even compare to this. See if I can find one more elite. See, again, like I said, when you go into combat, you want to leap in, drop your Rend, and just start hammering and bashing everything down. And here we go. And they drop pretty quick. The crits you're going to be doing with this build, and the proper gear, of course, your crits are going to be significantly higher than a lot of other builds. Now, I wouldn't save your Ignore Pain for just elites. Use it anytime you feel that it's necessary. I mean, it's got a pretty short cooldown. What is it, 30 seconds? I mean, that's not that bad. Anytime you just feel like using it, it's better to just use it. I mean, 30 seconds isn't a whole lot of time to wait. I know some people like to save their cooldowns like that for bigger encounters, but a 30-second cooldown really isn't much. Now, if you forget to use your skills like your Rend and your Ignore Pain and your Leap, you will drop pretty fast. I mean, that goes for any build, though, and if you aren't playing it properly. Because you're just going to take damage, and you're not going to be regenning anything, and you're not going to be increasing your armor at all. Just got to stay on top of keeping your abilities up, dropping your Rends, keeping your dots on everything. Keeping yourself alive, that's pretty much all it's all about. And you're going to be putting out ridiculous amounts of damage. And that was a dead end. Alright, I'll go for one more elite pack, and then I'm going to port back to town and probably end this video. Oh yeah, and Leap's also nice for those kinds of reasons. I mean, just for getting around purposes. You can see in my Fury generation, I'm having no problems generating Fury at all. And that is why I like Wrath of the Berserker. Escape the freeze. And I'm not having a whole lot of trouble. Ooh! Explosions. Stay out of the fire. I'm not having a whole lot of trouble. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I wasn't having a whole lot of trouble keeping my Wrath of the Berserker up. My Fury regeneration is so high. I'm usually benefiting from the Thrive on Chaos quite a bit. I mean, as long as there's shit to hit, you're usually keeping your Thrive on Chaos up until the end of the confrontation. Or until most of it's over anyways. Ooh, fire again. I'm going to die on video like a noob. Alright, I believe that is about it for this. Let's go back to town. I'll go over some of my stats. My gear has changed a little bit here and there since my last video, and sometimes I run with different gear depending on farming-wise. Now, again, like the Whirlwind build, this is a very highly crit-dependent build, so I suggest having 40-45% or more crit chance. I'm sitting at 54% crit chance with no Battle Rage, I believe it is. And with Battle Rage, I'd get an extra 3, but I don't really need that in this build. My crit hit damage at 543%. You can see where I'm benefiting from that. I'm having crits upwards of 1 million or so. Sometimes 700k, sometimes 1.4 million-ish. But your crit and your crit chance, your crit damage and crit chance are two things you really want to worry about in this. I mean, of course, you want to have your high resist and your high armor, and you want to have roughly 30 to 36k health or so. But for damage output, you want to have a above 45% crit chance, and I would say, God, 450% crit damage. I mean, I have more than that, and I'd prefer to get more than what I have now, but I mean, it's all just depends on what kind of gear you come across. But I am sitting at 170k DPS, which isn't too amazing, but yeah. Anyways, I think that's about it for this video. I'm going to wrap things up. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, or give me a comment, or share the video, or if you really like it, subscribe. If you have any questions or any suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you. Have a nice day.